Welcome everyone, today's video is no surprise. I have been mentioning this fashion video for some time now and it's finally here. I won't be covering all my fashion for every character, only the ones I deem somewhat worthy of your attention. I definitely have more loadouts, but I will be saving those for another time, assuming a positive response to this video. Be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video for some extra content from my friends, it's honestly worthwhile, but without any further introductions, sit back and enjoy the fashion. To start off, this is going to be my Centurion look. You will soon find that I have a theme going on with a lot of my heroes, that being a deep purple and a yellow theme. His is a little bit different of the theme, but it's essentially the same thing for a lot of heroes, so we'll get used to a certain look. This is using the Hitokiri helm, the Dread Complex chest, the Dread Complex arms, and then the Pax Regis blade. This is the full set because that color swatch changes colors with whatever I'm using. I'm then also using the Century ornament, Dark Orchid, armor material, and then haptic sensation from the color swatch. Moving to effects, I just use Spartan Glow because the color matches the yellow really well, and I think it just looks really cool. Okay, this is my Black Prior loadout. This one's obviously very blue, but this is pretty much the only loadout I have for BP, but I think it looks really nice. I'm running the Pranititis helm, not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and then a same thing for the chest, but the Chimera Senator arms, and then I'm using the full Loyalist set for his weapon. As for an ornament, I'm using the Cave Crawler, I'm using Celeste as his armor material, and then the color swatch called Insectarium. For effects, I just have Shadow Cult currently equipped because I really don't have any other effect I currently like for him, and I'm not really going to drop steel on it anytime soon. So this is the Lawbringer loadout. It's much simpler, not as flashy, but it's very subtle, and it's obviously got a lot of blue and gray throughout the whole thing. Again, I think it looks pretty good. As far as actual armor, he's using the Dark Lord helm, the Obscura Poena chest, and the Emmy arms. And for his weapon set, he's using the Rivelin axe, the Beloth Minerva shaft. He's using the Beloth Minerva shaft, and the Beloth spike as well. For Lawbringer's ornament, I'm using the Regal Death ornament along with the Cobalt armor material and the Iron Wood for the color swatch. Moving on to effects, I'm just using Eternal Damnation because I think the blue actually fits very nicely with the rest of that gray. This is my Gladiator loadout, pretty much my only one that I have. I obviously got a lot of red and gold. I think it fits the character really well. And the weapon set is also red and gold. It sort of matches then the rest of the armor. I'm using this helmet. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I'm also using the same style of arms as the helmet, and then I'm also using the Oblivion Grasp chest. For the weapon, I'm using the entire Basilisk set because of the gold, and it changes color based on the color swatch. For ornaments, I'm using the Arena Champion. I'm using the Ruby armor material and then the Chimera Resolve color swatch. As for effects, we're just using, again, Spartan Glow. Also another theme we'll run into a lot as I have Spartan Glow for a lot of heroes. I think it also matches the gold and the red very nicely. This is my Warmonger loadout. It's not super flashy. It's actually relatively simple. I know it's not anything super crazy. It's just an all black loadout. Not super original, but I think it looks really nice. We're using the Knots of Prominence ornament, Tar armor material, and then the Apollyon color swatch. As for armor, we're using the Centribus helm, the Sabactes chest, and the Sabactes arm. And then the weapon, I have these three on: the Defiant, Conspirator blade, Marpecia hilt, and whatever that is for the guard. For her effects, I just have Shadow Cult because it completely makes sense. It's a whole full dark loadout for her, so as much black as I could fit as possible just makes the loadout just really dark. Okay, this is my Berserker loadout. It's not super flashy. I just keep it pretty simple between the black and that light blue color. That's about it. We're using the Dagon helm, the Horkos Frelsari chest, and the Desheron arms, and then the entire Connor's Revenge set for the axes. I'm using the Spiked Spine ornament, the black material, and Time Warp as the color swatch. As for effects, again, just using Spartan Glow. I just really like the way this one looks, but you could definitely probably fit some better effects into this. This is my Warlord look. It's very gold and green. It's really based around that weapon set, which is intrinsically green along with all the gold, and I just kind of made the armor look accordingly. As for armor, we're using the Gladiator helm as well as the Gladiator arms, and then we're using the Izard chest. As for the weapon set, it's the entire Brimmer set, or Brimmer set, however that's pronounced. As for effects, I don't really have anything specific. I just have Beacon of Peace because it's green and has kind of like a light gold-ish color in it from the sunbeam. Nothing really specific. I just think it's funny, although you could definitely get a better effect going for this loadout. As for Warlord's ornament, he's using the Trickster's horns. I'm running the light brown material and the camouflage color swatch. This is my Hito look, as you can see, again with the Centurion following that purple and gold loadout. This is the Hito look I currently have, and I've had it here for a very long time, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. As for armor, we're using this helm. I have no idea how to pronounce it. All I know is that it came out with the Egyptian set when Medjay was released. The Spectral Slayer chest and the Gyozin arms. I think, hopefully, I'm saying that correctly. I'm also using the entire Misaki weapon set, just because it all matches, looks clean. For the ornament, I'm using the Ecliptic Memento. I'm using Marigold as the armor, and then again with Haptic Sensation as the color swatch. For effects, we're using Golden Crane because, well, the gold really matches here, and I also just think it's a really cool sounding and looking effect. I think it matches the loadout very nicely. This is my Zhanhu loadout, just follows a dark blue and gold look. This really was also based around the weapon set like Warlord, and that's about it. For the ornament is Belligerent Will, the gold armor material, although Torchlight would also, I think, look pretty nicely here, but again, the gold matches the weapon set better. And the color is Delicate Ferret. Because I can't pronounce anything, this is the helmet that he's using. I have the Pernicious Cinder chest, and as well as the Pernicious Cinder arms, and then the entire weapon set is the Meridian of Horkos. As for effects, I'm using the Chimera Heart, just because it has a little bit of gold in the helmet, and that deep blue kind of matches the one I'm currently using. So I also think it just looks very, very nice. This is my Shaolin look. Just white and a bright yellow. I've had some people call me a highlighter when I use this, but I can get with it. For the ornament, we're using Nova Star. The material is white iron, and the color swatch is Burning Forest. For the armor, we're using this helmet, the Chaotic Malevolence chest, and the Ferocious arms. The entire weapon set is the Intricate Wisdom, simply because it's just clean, and it also the color changes based on the color swatch. For effects, again with the Spartan Glow, sure, maybe it doesn't look the best on Shaolin himself, but the color seems to match, and I think it is an overall cool effect. This is my pirate. You guys have obviously seen this loadout in my first pirate video, but now you can actually learn exactly what I use. Again, this is following the purple and yellow look theme that I've talked about earlier in the video, so here it is yet again. As for the armor, we're using the Invader alternate helm, the Proud Sovereign alternate chest, and the Hunt Master alternate arms. The entire weapon set is also the Monarch's Reward. We're using the Crest of Honorees ornament, the Marigold armor material, and Haptic Sensation for the color swatch. As for effects, I think Pink Plasma Shock also works really, really nicely. It matches the color very well. I also have an alternate loadout for Pirate, which is simply this blue and gold look that I think looks very nice. Also kind of based around the weapon set, just a little bit different look overall. Similar, but now we're thinking blue and gold versus purple and yellow. For the ornament, Crest of Honorees again, we have gold as the armor material and the Delicate Fairy as blue. For armor, we're using the Lawless Monstrosity helm as well as the chest and the arms, so the entire Lawless Monstrosity set. For the blade, we're using Stellar Divination, the Forgotten Glyph hilt, and the Astral Seer pistol. As for effects, we use Cosmic Seer because the gold and the blue match really nicely, not only with the armor, but with the weapon set as well. It really brings it all together. This is my main Afeera look. It's kind of simple, not as flashy. It's really just based on one of her illustrious outfits, but this is about all that there is to it. For armor, she's just using the entire Prosecutor set. And for weapons, she's using the Savage Reckoning head, the Dawn of Destiny shaft, and the Silver Scales shield. As for ornaments, she's using the Draconite sigil, using gold armor material, and then the Corrupted Draconite hue color swatch. For effects, she's just using Draconite Abomination. That's where the color comes in from. And the whole fire breath from the dragon is what matches the color swatch. It all goes together because of the illustrious outfit. I also have an alternate version of Afeera. This one's a little bit cleaner looking, a little more flashy. It's just very green and gold. For this one, we're using the Messenger helmet, the Prophetess alternate chest, and then the Prophetess arms. And then I'm using the entire Dark Antler set for the weapon. I'm not wearing any ornament. I have the Emerald material and the Apollyon color swatch. As for effects, I'm just using Shadow Cult. You could probably definitely come up with a better effect for this, but Shadow Cult's just nice and clean, and so that's what I have for now. This is my Ocelotl look. He's kind of supposed to be fashioned after like an Aztec sun god type of look. I can't pronounce the sun god's name correctly, but this is kind of what it's supposed to look after. Unfortunately, also the head of the spear is not exactly what I want it to be, but we'll get into that in just a second. Otherwise, this is the exact same Ocelotl loadout you saw in my just recent Ocelotl video. As far as ornament, we're using the Hunter Strength ornament. We're running white iron as the material, and the Burning Sunset for the color swatch. For the weapon set, we use the Conquistador's End Club. We use the Crimson Gold Shaft, and this is not the correct head that I want. What I want is the Conquistador's End Head, because it matches very nicely. But as you can see, the main problem with it is that I still have it locked. As for effects, we just use that Zealous Zu Q. I know I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but it's essentially the flaming phoenix that comes out. It all matches, so I think it just looks and matches together really, really nicely. Last but not least, we have Medjay. This is probably one of my favorite loadouts I made for any characters, and again, it follows the purple and gold theme that you've seen used on my numerous other heroes, but this is what we've got for Medjay. As for the armor, we're using the Spiritualist Helm, the Atrocious Chasm Chest, and the Scion Arms. For the weapon set, we use the Serpent Sun for both of the heads, and then the Immortal Seer is the shaft. The ornament is Crest of Honorees. I've used it a couple of times. It's not my favorite ornament, but I think it looks really good because it actually has some color that changes based on your swatch, and also has some nice gold in there, so I think it matches on a number of heroes. The armor material is obviously going to be Marigold, and again with Haptic Sensation for the color swatch. Move to the effects, we just use Pink Plasma Shock. I think, again, it just matches perfectly with the rest of the loadout. It all brings it together. Now, for the record, I also used to make the look like this. I know not a lot of people like this helmet, and believe me, I didn't either when it came out. I thought it was really ugly, but honestly, it's really grown on me over time. And with the Metal Trials event that came out a few months ago, they released another version of this style of helmet form, which I think looks really good. It's the Atrocious Chasm helmet. It's part of that Metal Trials, again, that set. With that helmet, I used to run the We Bring War effect because it looked really, really nice together, and it's also part of the reason why I kept that helmet on it before, just because the We Bring War looks very good with it. But then when I changed the Spiritualist Helm, as you can see, the effect doesn't really work well with the helmet, so I had to change, and then that's why I use Pink Plasma Shock instead. This is a second loadout I have for my Medjay. Also pretty proud of this one. It's just very clean looking, deep red there with some black and gold. Similar to the other one, but a little bit different theme going on. So to start, we have the Deputy Helm, the Atrocious Chasm Chest, and the Scion Arms again, just like the outfit before. Except this time now with the weapon, we also have the Garden of Gold full weapon set, just because the black and gold makes sense with the rest of the loadout. We currently use the Horkos Aspirant Ornament. We have gold as the armor material, and we use Timeless Hostility as the color swatch. So for effects, I run the Horkos Aspirant mask outfit, because I think on this character specifically, the Horkos Aspirant actually looks very, very nice. The head crest really matches the curvature of the weapon sets, and then also the gold in the red that's in the mask matches perfectly with the color swatch and the armor material as well. There you have it, folks. These are all my favorite loadouts. As stated in the intro, I do have some other fashion for other characters not mentioned here, so if you would like to see me post those, please let me know. As we close out today's video, I wanted to show off some truly amazing fashion from my buddies, which are the screenshots you are currently viewing. I was glad they were willing to share their styles with you, and if any of you all would like to show off your own fashion, I'd be more than happy to add your screenshots to another video. Thank you all so very much for watching, and hope to see you in the next one.